Hey, how's it going? This is Danny from Made of Metal, and welcome to the first episode of what I am currently calling Desert Island Riffs in lieu of a better name, as and when one arises. I've always quite fancied doing like a podcasty type thing, especially centered around strongman, which is obviously the sport I compete in and dearly love. But there are lots of podcasts that are kind of interviewee insofar as how did you get into the sport, what's your training like. There are podcasts that talk about competitions and performance and technique, and they're all presented by people with far more knowledge than I have. Even though I've been doing this for like 5 years, I still feel like a bit of a novice. But one thing I do know is, one thing I do like to immerse myself in is music, and everyone listens to music when they work out. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to do a podcast that's more centered around what music people like to train to, and influenced by another very successful long-running show, I came up with the idea that the people I have on the podcast are about to be stranded on a desert island that has a fully equipped gym, so they're still able to train, but the sound system in the gym can only hold 5 songs. So what 5 songs would you take with you to this fictional desert island gym that you would be able to listen to on repeat? I know there are certain songs that I like to listen to if I'm going for a max, or if I want to get myself hyped up for some really intensive work, but there's also some stuff that I might want to listen to kind of calm down. And so I think it's potentially quite an interesting thing to talk about, quite different, and get to know people's likes and their tastes through their music. And the idea being that as the episodes continue and each guest contributes their 5 songs, talks about their 5 songs, I will add them to a Spotify playlist. So eventually the hope is to build up a huge database of songs that get people hyped in the gym for their lifts, and maybe people find some new songs that they've maybe not listened to before. They might want to try, they might want to add to their own workouts. So for this first episode, bearing in mind I'm still quite new to this and don't really know what I'm doing, I asked my good friend Andrew Keys, who's a fellow under 80 kilogram strongman. He's a very successful under 80 kilogram strongman. He's had a very solid past 2 years of competition, and I know that because I have been in many competitions with him, which we do get into in our conversation. But Andrew Keys, he's been competing very seriously for the past couple of years. He has qualified for Britain's Strongest Man under 80 the past 2 years. He has podiumed many different competitions. Qualified at Clash in the UK for the international show, which I think is now called the Pro Strongman League. That will be later this year. So yeah, things are on the up for this guy and show no real signs of slowing down. We are, as I sit here and speak, we are less than a week away from the NS UK final, where Andrew is going to be competing and is probably one of the safer bets to take a spot on the podium. So yeah, we just had a nice conversation over Zoom. Audio wise, it's probably not the best podcast you're ever going to hear, but I hope to be able to work on that. Nothing on Andrew's end, it's all me, just being a bit technically inept. But yeah, it's a good conversation, a good mix of songs. So I hope you enjoy it, and I will be back at the end for a little outro. So enjoy this conversation, this first episode of, as I say, what I'm calling Desert Island Riffs with Andrew Keys. All right, so I am here with Andrew Keys. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you very much. How are you doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. But you are going to be stranded on a desert island with with a gym that is well equipped to keep you ticking over. How does that prospect sound to you? Like, are you happy training by yourself, or do you prefer training with people? Would you survive on a desert island training by yourself?
Well, yeah, that opens a bit of a can of worms, doesn't it? But no, I like training on my own. I think I'd be happy, content. I don't really know what I'm training for, or if it's probably a wise course of action, wasting energy training on a desert island. But here for it, if it keeps me entertained.
Yeah, I suppose we've got to assume eventually you're gonna get off the island and you're gonna
Oh,
enter
good.
some
Right, yeah, that
international
changes things.
competition. So yeah, we have to assume you're gonna be training for a purpose. But as, lo- as long as you're not going to be driven insane by the prospect of training by yourself.
Well, from what I'm told, I've got music with me,
Yes,
which is
yes. But
which is the main thing.
before we get into that, I would like you to tell us a little bit about what you remember from your first ever strongman competition. Because it
Oh
was the
God.
fifth anniversary of my first strongman competition very recently, and by God, looking back on some of the videos, it was pretty embarrassing.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
how was your first competition? What was it? Was it like a novice competition or beginners or
So I planned on entering it was a low level comp. It was at Kings Lynn. I was planning on entering the novice, just opens, because the weight, no, not even novice. I think it was like beginners or first timers or something. Um but the by the time I actually bothered signing up, it was full. So I had to go in the under 90s, which was slightly heavier weights. There weren't heavy weights, but there were heavier weights. They
yeah?
were really heavy for me. But it was some terrible events. It was one of the events was two 25 kilo plates. I had to go load those on a sled, then a 50 kilo sandbag, and then drag the sled back. So it was like it wasn't very heavy. It was more CrossFit than anything. But that was
So
kind of the level.
you had to carry the plates individually.
Yeah.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
two
It
twenty
was a
five
bit.
plates.
Yeah, and what really sticks out in my memory from that event is you had to get the plates and load them on the pins of the sled, and they were wobbly because it was like a dodgy cheap sled. And the first one went on fine, but the second one I was like shaking about with it, and I lost like 5 seconds because I'd got the plate there, but I just couldn't get it on the sled. It was bad. It was terrible. But on my very first event was 180 kilo yoke into I think it was like 80 kilo duck walk. So again, not particularly heavy, and I fell over with the duck walk. It was really embarrassing, but yeah. So everyone starts somewhere, and that is literally um, my first event. I fell over, so it's
And
pretty
that was
terrible.
the first event. I guess we're so used to the first event being an overhead or a deadlift. The first event was a yoke into a duck walk.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, yeah. Never really thought about that. Yeah, it was yoke and stuck walk. Then the sled. Um, then there was a Viking press, which did terrible on. Then a farmer's hold, which another good thing about that competition. There were seven of us, one of which was Leroy Smith competing. He won every event apart from one, which was the farmer's hold, and I beat him on the farmer's hold. So I still
Incredible.
tell people that to this day that I managed to beat Leroy on one event about 4 years ago. It's
I've
meaningless,
just
but it means everything to me.
yeah. I'm just imagining Leroy, that big unit of a man,
Mm.
just carrying this 25 kilogram plate and placing it on him.
Yeah, he just he looked like he'd not trained for it at all. Just freakishly strong. Turned up. I remember he was smoking in between every event. and just kind of dominated. Looked like he wasn't even really trying, but yeah, that was it. And then the deadlift is last event, deadlift ladder. I can remember the last deadlift was it was 190 kilo and failed it. It was nowhere near it. So
Oh, that's
yeah, came
crazy, isn't it?
third though. Came third.
Aim
Still
for
have
that.
that medal on my bedside table. It was what kind of sparked my love for strongman.
Yeah, yeah, awesome, awesome. I just, yeah, moving event first, deadlift to finish. Sure,
Mm,
whatever. But yeah,
yeah.
so you are going to be stranded on a desert island with a gym that is fully stocked with everything you could ever need to keep yourself training. But the uh, the catch is that the music system there can only hold 5 songs. So these 5 songs that I've asked you to pick, you have to be prepared to listen to them and only them for a very long time. And he sent me through the songs. And I said to you earlier today, because, I'm made of metal. I like Judas Priest. I like Black Sabbath. I kind of assume that everybody likes those sorts of bands. So when you sent it through the songs, I was like, oh, okay. So let's talk about the first song. Would you like to introduce the first song? Who is it? What song is it?
Well, the first song is "Do I Want to Know?" Arctic Monkeys, and there's a reason that's first. So, as you know, I spent far too long worrying and stressing about these songs because this means a lot to me. I
Yeah.
want to I want to do it right, um, and I've picked 5 songs in an order from what I would listen to them in the gym, the kind of vibes and emotions that I feel listening to the songs. So we're starting with Arctic Monkeys, Do I Want to Know? Purely because that is the song when I'm going to the gym, when I arrive at the gym, and when I'm warming up, it just it makes me feel so cool because I think I secretly want to be the kind of guy that's always listening to Arctic Monkeys, Kings of Leon, that kind of secretly a part of me is wanting to be cooler than I probably am. But when I
Yeah.
listen to that song, I just feel like a badass.
So are you would you consider yourself a fan of the Arctic Monkeys, like just in general?
Not really, no.
Just something about this song.
Yeah, I think that's probably apparent from most of those songs. Most of the songs that are on this list, I probably like one, two, 3 songs from the artist, but I think I have quite a varied music taste.
Hmm.
And I'll just find a song and then just listen to it. What I tend to do nowadays is I'll download an album, listen to it all the way through, and then just delete the ones I don't like. And it normally leaves me with like 2 or 3 songs. But yeah, I just love this song. And just the beat, especially when you've got some good speakers or headphones with some good bass on, and then that guitar riff over the top. It just it makes one to like strut. That is the
I
word
was
that
going to
comes to my
say,
mind.
yeah, it's definitely got a swagger about it, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's that. I feel so cool.
Yeah.
And I just know I have an image of what I look like listening to that in the gym, and I know it's so far away from what I look like when I'm in the gym, but that image is still in my head, and I feel like a badass listening to it. It's just yeah, it just gets me focused, gets me in the zone.
So do you ever go watch much live music like in general? Like, have you ever
Yeah,
seen the Arctic Monkeys? Would you?
I've not. Yeah, I probably would. I do like live music. I don't get to see live music as much as I would like to, but there's a um, there's a festival called Neighborhood Festival in
Mhm.
Manchester. It's like a day festival, and I've been to that a few times. Um, and that is just loads of kind of really random artists that most people have not heard of. It'd probably be up your street. And I go to it purely because I just like live music. I just like an atmosphere. I listen to anything and get excited. I'm the kind of person that if as soon as there's music, if it gets me, if it's a song I like, I'll dance to it. I'll just be there in the zone.
Are we going to talk about the categories of
Yeah,
that
yeah,
you've put next to
yeah, we
these
can.
songs?
Yeah, we can. This is also a sign that I spent far too much time into this. So
I mean,
the
I'll
first
let
cat,
you. I'll let you say what category you put this song under.
this is the badass vibes category.
Badass. So
Yeah.
would there be other songs like what? Presumably you had a few badass songs. Like which ones maybe didn't make the cut?
I don't know how many would go in this category. I did have quite a few songs that have got some honorable mentions that
Mm.
I'll mention um, later on. But now for me, this is maybe like Marvin's Room, Drake. That's another song that for me just it's like old
Yeah.
school Drake. I'm saying old school because but that for me is a song just because I know all the words just makes me feel I don't know just like I just want to go. I just get focused and I want to go. Bloodsport, Rally Ritchie. That's another one that similar kind of vibe to me anyway.
Mm.
Um, or another one that you will have heard of, which maybe more cheese vibes, but it's Love Gun.
Oh,
Um, that is just a song that I just love
yeah.
as well
Yeah.
because it's similar vibes.
Love Gun by Kiss.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, 'cause one of the things I noticed about, like, I was thinking about my songs, and I get excited and kind of riled up, mostly kind of by tempo. So I'm like, if I want to get hyped up, it'll be something kind of quick. Whereas all of these, apart from one, are fairly kind of restrained. They're sort of
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I totally agree
they're
with that.
do I want to know? It kind of it's the same drums the whole way through. It's like a repetitive guitar riff. It kind of never pulls the trigger, but that's kind of the good thing about it. Like you kind
Mm,
of are expecting it near the end to just like explode into some sort of massive crescendo or whatever, but
mm.
they're just no. We do that in other songs, I guess.
Well, yeah, that's this is where we start for me. This is getting ready. This is getting me focused. For me, a song is what music does to me is it gets me like emotional, it gets me into that like arousal state. Um, and I kind of when I lift, I will play off any emotion that I can pull on. I don't feel a need to just be like full rage or full anger. I'll kind of be excited or just passionate or hyped or kind of um, just something that makes me feel something. And I'll find it just because I don't really want to just be like angry and just kind of want to rip somebody's head off all the time. Because I find when I get like that, I get too unfocused and I
Mm,
can't really concentrate on what I'm doing, especially if I'm doing something like I don't know, something that requires a bit of skill, or I need to be a bit like tactical. So if I'm doing like a 60-second AMRAP and I want to kind of pace myself, or I know if I'm doing a split jerk on a axle or a dumbbell, especially, I'll put something on that gets me into a more emotional state, but something I can stay focused with. Because otherwise,
yeah.
I kind of just lose my shit and um, yeah, I'm kind of blowing out my ass because I've kind of gone for it and not really concentrating on what I'm doing.
So what sort of event would this song accompany? Uh,
I'd probably say this. Good question. Good question. No, I don't know. Something. I'd probably say this is pre-event. If I'm totally
yeah.
honest.
So
Yeah,
warming up, getting into it.
yeah. Getting focused about what I'm doing. this is kind of the warm up, the prep. This is getting me. This just gives me a place to think about what I want to do next.
Speaking of next, what's the next
Hmm.
song?
This does kind of go against what I've just said because this song does make me lose my shit.
Yeah.
Um, this is "Love It If We Made It," the 1975, and the category for this is just kind of passion. It's just kind of all out emotion for me. This song, it's just when I listen to it, I just kind of I could be anywhere. I just kind of forget where I am when I listen to this. I could just I've seen this song live and I was just I was just all over the place. It's just yeah, I love this song. That's the main reason it's in there. I just for me this song is just there's I, there's so many layers when you listen to it and it's not actually a song that I liked the first time I listened to it, and then as I listen to it more and more you kind of notice another layer to it, and then you'll pick up that layer throughout it, and then as the layers build it just yeah it's around kind of 3 minutes into the song which it slowly builds to, and then it's off, and then it's that "love it if we made it" line over and over, and it just continues for like a full minute, and yeah it just gets me hyped.
This like I'd not heard this song before. I'd not really heard the 1975 before. The first time I even knew they were a thing was when I was going to the O2. There was a Prince museum at the O2. It just so happened to be we went the same day as the 1975 were playing. There were all these people in 1975 shirts, and I was like, "What? What's this? Who is this?" So when I first heard this, I was like, again, it's a similar sort of like the drums are sort of the same. It's a very I don't know, head noddy sort of tempo. It's
Mm.
not too crazy, but the lyrics are dark. The
Well,
lyrics
yeah,
are
that
so dark.
there's
Apart from the chorus, it's like we didn't start the fire, Billy
oh
Joel.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. I've got that on my notes. I've written loads of notes by the way, and I've got that on my notes because that is what this song reminds me of.
Yeah,
It's the whole song is references to things. Like there's a line in the song, "I moved on her like a bitch," which is a quote from Donald Trump,
yeah,
from one of his tapes. So it's
yeah,
I just think it's just such a clever song, the way it has all these references in it. And like I said, it's a song that for me, the more you listen to it, the more you kind of appreciate it.
yeah. It's definitely highs and lows. Like
Mm,
because the lyrics in the verse are just like really dark things that have
mm,
happened over like it's quite contemporary, like over the past 5 years or so. I guess it was
mm,
released 2021 maybe. Like it can't be that old. Because I know it references stuff like George Floyd.
mm,
Um, but then the chorus is just like love it if we made it. And it's like really
mm,
positive and uplifting and like it's kind of like yeah, there's all this dark stuff going on, but there's also good stuff as well.
but yeah, I think you've kind of hit the nail on the head. I think that's kind of the point of the song for me. But
Mm,
just yeah, it's a song that gets me emotional, gets me hyped, gets me excited, and I could listen to this song every time. For me, this is a song that I would deadlift to because I I can just strap myself in and just listen to it, and then around that 3 minutes time, I'll purposely go. I know when it's building, and then around 3 minutes, just start lifting. Um, and then what it does is it builds, and then it holds that peak for like 60 seconds, and then the way the song finishes is all the layers stop, and then you're just left with this one beat that carries on for like 10 seconds or so,
yeah,
and I find it just like wakes me up as it for that whole 60 seconds I could have been in a trance just, and then when that final beat comes on and it ends, it always makes me just go and just breathe. I feel like, yeah, yeah. For me, it's
Yeah,
so like I feel like I'm getting a bit too emotional about it, but it's like an experience for me. When I listen
yeah.
to that, I get just so into it. So I purposely only listen to it in an environment where I like when I'm in the gym or something where I want to get like that. Because if I listen to it as I'm driving along, I'll just get too excited.
Yeah. So you say you saw him do it live. Was that did
Mm.
you go to a 1975 gig or were they a event you went to or
Yeah, I think it was for my birthday. I think a couple of years ago. We went to Scotland, go see them. So yeah,
oh wow.
and went purely just for that. So yeah,
Did you get
it's
involved in the pit?
no, sadly not. I was with my girlfriend, and it was just us two, and she's not a mosher, so I felt obliged to stay with the company of my dear girlfriend.
Yeah, we
Um,
can't all be mushes, that's fine.
I when I'm on my own or with my friends, it is something I'll gladly do. I'll throw
Tell us
myself in
about
there.
tell us about the third song.
Third song, nice.
Because yeah, we are going on a journey. We are
Mm,
going on a journey. So the third song, kind of as most of these songs kind of took me by surprise, to be honest,
mm,
because they're not
yeah,
Enter
they'll do that.
Sandman and they're not like War Pigs and they're not. But
What?
go introduce it. Like what who is it and what song is it?
Right, okay. Before I do, um, this is a safe space.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
and I just want to say for Love It If We Made It in 1975, that is a song that I've posted my end of year songs before, and that was one of them. And I just got given abuse because I was told I'm I'm not a 15-year-old girl and I shouldn't be listening to the 1975, but I don't care. It's a song I love, and um, that's kind of true for the next song as well.
So
So
just to make you feel a bit better, I went to a festival called 2000 Trees last year, and on the lineup was just hundreds of bands I'd never heard of before. And so I went through the official festival playlists, just like checking people out, and me talking about Judas Priest and Black Sabbath and Metallica and blah blah blah. My favorite song was by a girl, a lady called Lizzie Farrell, and it was a song called Barbados, and it just sounds like Taylor Swift. It sounds like Taylor Swift, but I am obsessed with that song. So no judgment, no judgment.
no, yeah, I like Taylor Swift. I'd happily admit that. Um, okay, right. So yeah, next song is "All Night" Beyonce, um, which again is kind of that same category for me of Love It If We Made It, but it's kind of the other end.
Yeah.
It's um, it's still that same passion, emotional song for me, but um, I just love this song, man. It just gets me like. Whereas Love It If We Made It is more like I just want to rip somebody's head off. For me, this is more. Um, it just gets me like aroused. It gets me feeling sexual. It gets me feeling. it gets me feeling like in love, and I don't know. I just want to lift.
I mean,
I think it's a beautiful
fair
song.
enough. Fair enough. I
I
mean,
know it's a
like,
curveball, but
well, I mean, like Beyonce. If you were to say to me like, "Oh, Beyonce's on there," I'd be like, "Yeah, sure." Like Beyonce's got some real. Again, like I'm kind of leaning more into the tempo sort of things. Like I like
mm,
"Girls Run the World." That song.
mm,
That's a banger.
yeah,
And Beyonce's got lots of songs that are like really empowering and kind
mm.
of
All the Single Ladies. That is a tune. I did a dance to
Yeah.
that once in front of my school. But yeah, this is
Whereas this one is it's another like restrained one. It's another sort of I mean, yeah, it's really passionate, but like yeah, it's sort of a similar I would say it's a similar vibe to the other three in that it's the same sort of beat the whole way through. And it's like yeah, the
do you know what
vocals are
this
all over
one
the
is?
place.
I find when this one plays, I can thinking about it, it's probably true for all the songs, and even the ones I had a short list of 40 songs, and I really struggled to narrow it down to these five. I've got loads of songs that I love that I've missed out, but for me, any what makes me love a song is the ability to just make me forget where I am. And when I have headphones on, I can listen to this, and again, I could just be anywhere. Like I just it just takes me out of that place. And yeah, it helps get me focused. It helps take my mind off something else and helps take helps just clear my mind, I guess is what I'm trying to
Yeah,
get at. And I can just
yeah.
kind of wake up and go, this is what we're doing, and I'm here.
Because yeah, if you're going to be lifting heavy weights, you don't want your mind clouded with all sorts of different things. You want to focus.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's like throughout all this song, she keeps saying, well, not keep saying, but she goes sweet love all night long, and then she holds the long, and it's just like I feel sexual, and I feel like I want to be making sweet love all night long.
Well, I mean that might be difficult on a desert island gym, but
Well,
you
yeah,
probably,
possibly, yeah,
probably won't
maybe.
really.
Mm.
We'll not go into that. So would you go see like Beyonce's on a world tour at the minute? One of my clients is going to go see Beyonce. I think like next week. Is Beyonce someone that if you haven't seen live, you'd like to see live?
I don't know. Possibly just for this song, yeah. I could go
Just for
see it.
this song,
Well, no, actually, I take what you said earlier. She's got a
Single
lot of
Ladies.
bangers. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
whole single ladies. That's a song that I can't help but jive to either. But yeah, for me, yeah, I'd go see it. Very expensive though, but yeah, I'd go.
they all are these days. That's a conversation for another day.
Mm, maybe.
So we've got your first three songs.
Yep.
Say they're all. We got your badass song. We got your passionate song. We've got your tear people's head off song. And your definition of a tear people's head off song and my definition are very very different. I bet, you know, it's cool. It's cool. Now that your next song, I saw that and I was like, oh, of course, yeah, no question,
Mm,
of
yeah,
course.
yeah.
So what
What
song is it?
Heaven is a Place on Earth, Belinda Carlisle.
Of course it
This
is.
song just gets me hyped.
Yeah, yeah. No, I can. It's the one song that I knew 100% knew and have known for ages. And yeah, just saw it. I was just like, yeah, yeah, I can absolutely see
Mm.
that being blasting out of gym speakers
This
while you're doing your thing.
So the story with this song, for me, um, is the have you ever seen the Netflix series Black Mirror?
Yeah.
There's an episode, um, I forgot what it's called, but it's two old people, and it starts in
No, not that one. I think
which
it's is
one?
it San Junipero or
San
something.
Junipero, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That's so I've not watched too many episodes of Black Mirror, but every now and again
Okay.
there's an episode that everybody talks about, and that was one of them. So I have seen that one, and oh, oh, right in the feels.
I know. I love that episode. Yeah. And spoiler alert, spoiler alert. It's one of the first episodes that ends on a good note.
Mm,
Um, every episode, like up to that point, apart from a couple, has like a horrible ending, and that one just
yeah,
kind of takes you by surprise. It kind of pulls on your emotion a bit. Um, so maybe it was just hearing that song because it's in that episode. At the end of the film, again, spoiler alert, they drive off in this convertible, whatever it is, and that song is playing. And straight away, I was thinking, well, I want to be doing that. So within about a month, I bought a convertible. Um, and the very first thing I did, it was like 8 o'clock at night or something in winter. No, it was February. It was dark. Took the roof down, put that song on, and just drove. I had about an hour drive, and it was almost the way home. I was just, yeah, yeah. It was everything I wanted it to be. It was fantastic. So yeah, that is my story with that song. It gets me hyped. It gets me excited. It just I just want to dance. I just want to move. It's a song that when it comes on in the gym, I'll be dancing about. It's kind of that. As you know, I changed this song. For me, this song is one. It's kind of like a placeholder for any song that just makes me want to dance, just
Yeah.
want to move, just want to have fun. It's kind of not too serious, but it's just fun.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the one thing I've got on my notes here is when I go out, I kind of if anyone's been out with me on a night out, you'll know that I have one speed and it is just go. As soon as as soon as we're out, I've had a sip of alcohol and I'll just be on the dance floor until we're getting kicked out. And it is songs like this that just keep me there.
You know what? I can absolutely identify with that. There was a club that used to run in Northampton, and one of the rooms was the 80s room, and you could find me in there from the beginning to the end. Just yeah. Mine was Communards, Don't Leave Me This Way. It's got a epic key change and one or two occasions, just one or two, at the top of the key change, I'd whip my top off and start twirling it around my head. So yeah, I think I can sort of get where you're coming from with this one. But I mean,
Mm.
in terms of gym lifts and competition and stuff, like would
Oh
this
yeah, I forgot
be
about the gym. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah, would this sort of be, say you're in the final event and everyone's tired, you just need that one last little boost to
yeah.
get
Mm.
you over the finish line.
Yeah. This is just we're keeping the energy going. Um, we're maybe getting towards the end. We're whether it's competition or just being in the gym, we just need that final bit of hype to keep things moving before we finish.
All right, so we got one more song to go, and this is what's the category of this one?
This, I'm glad you've asked, is my chilled song. Final category. We've done with all the lifts. We just want to chill out, get ready to bring the session to an end and leave the gym and just go to the rest of the desert island, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a desert island. There's going to be a beach, isn't there? So you chill on the beach.
This one is Sarah Fleetwood Mac.
Are you a big Fleetwood Mac fan?
I am, but I know that's kind of like I almost don't want to say I am because it's almost like the cool thing to say. Like everybody just wants to pretend they really like Fleetwood Mac, but yeah, I like Fleetwood Mac. um, I'd
Yeah.
like
So
to
why
think
this
this is
one?
a well, it's a bit less well known, but I know well you've kind of thrown me with your opinion for the rest of my songs, but for me, this is the one that is like it's chilled all the way through. It's a constant beat. It's fairly slow, but you think that about all my songs, which um, but yeah, main reason I like this one is it's really slow. It's really simple. There's not many layers. I just think the way the lyrics play over the melody, I just think is really nice. It's 6 minutes long, so you can just get into it. I love the way it ends. I love that it's kind of got that 30 seconds or so where it just kind of fades out. Not many songs do that anymore.
Mhm.
Um, and just kind of it's a song I'd listen to at the end of a workout when I'm just trying to calm down from the rest of everything that's happened. And then it just does that for me.
Yeah. So you mentioned the length of the song there, and when I was trying to think of what songs I'd take, that was a consideration because I was like, if I'm going to be listening to the same songs on repeat forever, if it's five 3-minute songs, that's the same 15 minutes of music for a
Mm,
very long time.
mm. Yeah,
So
I
why
didn't
not
really
pick a
think about that.
couple? Like I picked a 10-minute song, and I think a couple of 10-minute songs actually, because why not? Why not? So yeah, so this is your chilled out 6-minute long song, The
Yeah,
Calm After the Storm.
yeah. This is there's a few songs I could have picked here. I like Jamie XX, like Loud Places, Seesaw. There's a couple of songs that I could have had instead that are kind of chilled. Um, Better, Khalid. There's a couple of Khalid songs I could have had. Um, yeah, it's just a song I'd listen to at the end. So it's definitely not really a song I'd lift to, but
Yeah, yeah,
kind
yeah,
of last
yeah.
few exercises or wanting to just sit down and chill at the end.
Yeah,
But
it's
yeah,
not the soundtrack to a max distance carry event.
no, well, maybe it would be 6 minutes. It's
Yeah,
appropriate.
if you could go, if you could go
Um,
for the 6 minutes, yeah.
but yeah, I spent far too much time thinking about these songs, and I was almost worrying about what people would think of me for these songs, but I realized that I just don't really care. These are songs that I love, and yeah.
That's it. That's it. I mean, as I say, the whole premise means that you are gonna be listening to these songs for however long you're stranded on this fictional desert island. So you've got to make sure that they're songs that you can listen to on repeat. So yeah,
Mm.
who cares if they're obvious or for 15-year-old girls or whatever. Like it doesn't
Can
matter.
I
It's just
can I just clarify a rule though? You've worried me with what you've said a couple of minutes ago. When you say repeat, I'm allowed silence, aren't I? Or
oh
is it
yeah,
literally I have to
yeah,
go to
yeah,
5 minute
yeah.
songs? When I get to five, we're back to one again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You'll be able to choose the order. You'll be able to choose like you'll be in control. It'll be a sound system.
I
You'll be
can
able to
stop
turn it
listening
off and on. Yeah,
essentially,
yeah,
is what
yeah,
I'm getting at. Okay, right, good.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's good to know.
All right. So we've gone through the songs. We've gone through your journey, your lifting journey. But on this desert island, you will
Oh
be
no.
allowed to take one piece of gym equipment with you that isn't already in the gym. So as I say, the gym is going to be stocked with everything you could ever need. But is there one specific piece of equipment that you've used at a gym that you absolutely sort of fell in love with and would like to take it with you, or a piece of gym equipment that you absolutely despise that you want to take to practice on, or just leave on the desert island, or it's up to you?
Hmm,
Because
good question.
there's a gym near us. We both have trained there called Titan's Lair, and the first time I went there, I used their heavy log, which I think weighs about is it 80 kilograms empty,
Yeah, yeah,
85 or
just under,
something?
yeah.
And the first time I lifted that log, I was one of the first times I think I got like 95 kilograms on it, which for me was huge. So I kind of walked away thinking, this log's magic. So I may well take that log with me.
So yeah, well, yeah, it's funny you should say that because when you first said it, that's what came to my mind. Just because even though it's a lift I'm pretty terrible at, I it's a fun lift. It's a lift that when you do it, you just feel cool. It's like look how big this equipment is. I feel so butch and I just want to lift, and it's got a cool name. It's a log. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, so yeah, I think I'd probably take a log. I don't know if I'd take a specific log, maybe like one of those big wooden logs.
yeah.
They're like a cool thing. I'd probably grab one of those. hopefully I could come off this desert island a somewhat decent log. That'd be nice, wouldn't
I mean, if you're training the log on the sand, that's going to do wonders for your push press, isn't it?
it? Yeah, or
If you
break an
can get
ankle.
used to push pressing on sand, yeah, you'd
Mm,
be you'd be absolutely nails.
mm. Yeah, definitely. I'd agree.
So you mentioned off camera that you had some statistics, some gym statistics,
Well,
competition
it's just
statistics.
yeah. It's just so me and you have got the UKNS final
We do.
coming up, or it's already been, depending on when you release this video.
Yes.
Um
So I want to get in early and say congratulations on winning. Well done for making the podium, or what the hell happened? We'll
can edit
delete
that
as applicable.
appropriately. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, good to know. Thanks. I appreciate the confidence. Well, yeah, same to you. Congrats on your top five.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all I'm
Yeah.
gonna say.
There's no other option.
This will be my 20th competition and will be my 11th with you.
Yeah,
I've done
we've sort of
20
been mirroring each
competitions
other.
and
So
over half of them are with you.
yeah. So that started 2021. What was it?
It was the
May
Auto
time?
Strongman comp in Milton Keynes. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
May. It was just before. It was when we found out we were both competing at Brits.
Yeah. I I don't think I'd realised that I've done 11 competitions. Wow. Uh,
I know.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I think I said it before. I'll keep going until I beat you, and then I'll retire.
That's a long way off yet.
Oh, oh. All right. Well, so this was the first go at doing something like this, and I feel like it was pretty successful. So thank you very much for your time and agonizing. I can't imagine how tough it was whittling down 40 songs to
Mm.
five. You said you had some honorable mentions, so chuck them out there. Chuck them out
Well,
there.
I kind of already have. So the Loud Places, Jamie XX, that's my alarm tone. That wakes me up every morning. So that was why I that was the main reason I didn't put it in, because I listened to it every day already, and I thought I can't listen to it anymore.
Yeah.
Um, Better Khalid, that's my chilled one. Um, and then I had a few hype ones that I was going through cycling, thinking, what would I actually like to listen to on a daily basis? It's like a couple of Avicii songs,
Mm.
Calvin Harris, things like that. Um, yeah, there was a few.
Cool. Well, only room on the MP3 player in the gym for five songs. It's like one of those really old iPod shuffles.
Mm.
Only five songs on it. Cool. Well, thank you very much for your time. I'm sure we will catch up at many competitions to come.
Cannot wait.
So there we have it. That is the first episode done and dusted. It was a good chat with Andrew. Wish him all the best for the coming UKNS competition and future competitions. Big year for him. And as far as his song choices go, if you wanted to check any of them out, look for me on Spotify. My username is madeofmetal_PT, made of metal, all one word, _PT. And the playlist is going to be called Desert Island Riffs. So far there's only going to be 5 songs on there. But as I say, as the weeks roll on and the guests start appearing, that is going to be populated 5 songs every single time, and got someone else lined up already for another episode, and the 5 songs that they've chosen are quite different. I think that's what's going to make this really interesting, is, as I said in the episode a couple of times, I'm a heavy metal fan. I listen to heavy metal a lot and sometimes forget that not everybody does. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed listening. I hope you will continue to listen. And trust me when I say that the podcast is only going to get better as I work out the technical aspect of things and the conversational side as well. You go back and listen to the first episode of most any podcast and they're always a little bit awkward. But hey, it's done, it's dusted, it's in the books. So I'll see you very soon, hopefully, for another episode of Desert Island Riffs. Thank you for listening.